Hey, how we doing this morning? It's November 8th, 2009. I'm going to have some information for you up in the box over here, so make sure you follow up on this information. For any of you who have never seen my videos, I'm portraying Achilles, who I feel as though is the greatest warrior that the world has ever known. And I feel he was the epitome of independence, and I'm an independent. I'm not wearing my helmet today because I have to read some stuff and I have to wear my glasses, so just bear with me. I'm not the best reader, but you need to look up this information that I'm going to leave over here for you. This right here is from the Natural Solutions Foundation. Your health is your wealth. All right, it's a little piece that they wrote about some things that are going on in the world, and it's absolutely incredible. And you need to look at it. But I'm going to read you this real quickly. Challenging Obama's dangerous health emergency. New presidential national health emergency gives HHS Secretary Kathleen Sebelius power to send people to hospital administered concentration camps. And I hate saying that because, you know, you got all these crazies out there talking about concentration camps, you know, and they've always been found out not to be. But this is from a reputable organization. This isn't from some crazy right-wing nut job. This is from, you know, a reputable place. That you're going to have to look up this stuff because this is all crazy. The health emergency declaration which President Obama signed on Friday, October 23, 2009, gives appointed, not elected, HHS Secretary Kathleen Sebelius the power to suspend your rights to habeas corpus, make your own health decisions, informed consent, leave a health care facility if you wish to, absolute insurance that you will not euthanize, that is, kill for the convenience of the state, as now happening in the UK. There is no redress or appeal built into this power, so that once taken to a distant holding facility, a patient has no way out of that facility until he or she is released at the whim of the state or carried out feet first or cremated. Hospitals will have the ability to designate you as a patient and hold you at a distant facility. Your rights under the declaration are suspended, rather like inmates at Guantanamo, I should think. In fact, despite the fact that there is no swine flu health emergency, this declaration puts the U.S. on par with Nazi Germany and Stalinist Russia, where the tyrants who declared war on their own people used the structures of the system to justify and legitimize their assault on the life, location, and liberty of their citizens. The declaration gives appointed, not elected Secretary Sebelius power, which the military, for example, Northcom, will back. Hard to swallow as it may be, providing this authority to itself means that the U.S. government now has its excuse to institute the corralling and culling of anyone it chooses. I'm going to leave information up here. You need to check into this. Now, why would they? Why? What? No. There's a revolution going on in the country. Did you know that? I don't know if you're aware of it. This stuff makes my heart pound. Doesn't it make your heart pound? It makes my heart pound. They have the right to lock you up. Listen, there's another thing going on, all right? And you need to look into this, all right? Because whether you can believe it or not, the question I have is, why is it even happening? Okay, why would stuff like this even happen? The Codex guidelines, I don't know if you've heard of them, but they want to implement risk assessments. What are they called? Risk assessments, and they want to deprive people of nutrition in the world. That's a way of keeping down the population, because the world is overpopulated apparently. I mean, I don't know if you heard Louis Farrakhan the other day came out and said there was too many people in the world. I don't know if you heard that. I heard that the other day. He came out in his own words. I mean, you can look it up. Louis Farrakhan said that there's too many people on the planet, and we need to come up with a way to take out a good portion of them, but need to make it look natural. And now there's a German doctor, his name is Dr. Rolf Grockless, MD. I'm not sure if I pronounced it right, but I'm going to put it up in that box. Look it up. He works for the German government, the BRA, the Risk Assessment Evaluation Organization. All right, they're gonna take nutrients away from people in the world so that there'll be, and it says there'll be billions of unnecessary deaths because of it. All right, just look it up. I'm just passing this on. All right. And the next thing I wanted to read real quickly, and then we'll be done, is a thing that someone wrote, America's Nightmare, the Obama Dystopia. Excuse me. Manipulation, propaganda, imagery, and PR wizardry. It's written by Andrew Hughes. After 8 years of the Bush-Cheney nightmare, during which we saw the wanton destruction of Afghanistan and Iraq, the cynical negotiation of centuries of law designed to protect the most basic human rights and the foreign policy worthy of Genghis Khan, there came along the great black hope in the persona of Barack Obama. The collective world consciousness turned uncritically to what was presented as a new era for peace, change, and trust in government. Never before had one witnessed such an accomplished use of manipulation, propaganda, imagery, and public relations wizardry to sell the public a man who was to take the baton from Bush and run with it in the race to destroy the economy, the rights of the people, and to help birth a nation totally controlled by those who have always lurked in the shadows of power. Change was promised and was delivered in the form of a deepening of the already dystopic nightmare. Promises were broken with no apology. The same creative legalese that infested the Bush administration in the form of John Woo and Alberto Gonzales was again used to deny justice to the inmates of Guantanamo. It was used to justify more torture, more destruction of the Constitution, and more illegal surveillance of U.S. citizens. The president that extended the hand of peace to the Muslim world has murdered hundreds of Pakistani men, women, and children. The president who promised accountability in government has filled his staff with lobbyists, banksters, and warmongers. His attorney general refuses to prosecute some of the worst war crimes committed in modern history and continues to give legal coverage to criminals who tortured with impunity. The country was further bankrupted by the continuing theft of taxpayer money as Wall Street campaign donors received their quid pro quo. Obama has stood by idly as Bernanke states that the private Federal Reserve is not answerable to either Congress of the American people. The U.S. taxpayer is now on the hook for $14.3 trillion and rising. Foreclosures and unemployment are rising with no meaningful efforts by the administration to alleviate the symptoms, never mind the cause. The new image of America is one of tent cities, lengthening soup kitchen lines, sheriffs evicting countless thousands of young and old from their homes, once prosperous towns descending into the eerie stillness, and an increasingly delusioned populace. The war on terror has mutated into a control grid for the increasingly aware population. A control grid for the increasingly aware population. This is incredible. My God. I can't even go on anymore. I'm shaking. Listen, people, we need to start worrying about this stuff. I mean, why are they doing all this? You know, whether you believe any of this stuff could happen anyway, let's say, you know, about the killing of billions of people by nutrition. They're having conferences about it. These intellectuals are sitting around these big tables and they're talking about this stuff. Whether you think it could come to fruition or not, why are they talking about it? Why would anybody in their right mind talk about murdering billions of people because of some population deal? Why? Is that what these sinister people to sit around and talk about? These hootie toots and these elites? I'm sorry, that's not what I would talk about with my friends or any type of business. I wouldn't even consider that. This is incredible to even hear, never mind. You think this is stuff that you see in Hollywood movies. You know, where's Superman? You know, where's the X-Men? Because they got to be coming in pretty soon, because this stuff is just ridiculous, and this is what these intellectuals are dealing with. And if you just look around, all the people in the administration are connected to these types of people, these intellectuals. Everybody thinks, oh, he's brilliant, he's a genius. Yeah, you should worry about that. How about we get some people with common sense, some people who understand the Constitution and what freedom really means for people, instead of always trying to figure out a way to enslave somebody or kill somebody or do something like that. I mean, really, are we that insane? Wake up, people. Wake up.